Hello, Thomas. Welcome back to glorious Goodwood, race day 3, Thursday on our Wednesday evening podcast. I got to hand it to you, Tom. You know, and you're watching a football telecast and they're rotating in quarterbacks or running backs, and they say you got to go with the hot hand. Thomas, you got a cooking glove on, man, because you got a hot hand right now.
Yeah, I got out of 7 races, I got 4 winners on top. So that's and then one cold. I'm not complaining.
As they used to say on ESPN before it became, I don't know what it is now, but En Fuego. You are on fire. Yeah, you had that Trillium on our show yesterday, a $19 winner. Yeah. So hopefully, what are you sitting on today?
That was a nice one. Unfortunately, we'll see.
Nah, man. You know how this game goes. When you get on a roll, you get on a roll.
Well, yeah. Well, the one horse we knew we couldn't beat was Baidi. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even look like he was doing much on the horse to get him to go. I mean, it was like he just cruised control. Yeah. He's definitely a 1.25 mile horse. I don't know why they're not stretching him out a little bit. But
well, if you're 9 for 9, why do you need to stretch out?
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's the old adage.
Your stud value is already out of sight right now. I mean, that's just incredible. And he looked at the part too.
Mm-hmm. The old saying, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Right.
Well, Modern Games ran a good race. Beat everybody else, but he was not anywhere near. Well, they were running through the list of the horses in there. You got 2 Breeders' Cup winners in that race. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got Group 1 winners all over the. It wasn't a weak race, and he made them all look pretty ordinary.
Well, that's what extraordinary does, right? Extraordinary makes the good look ordinary. Yep. And that's what you're doing with these picks lately. You're looking extraordinary, and even though I'm hitting a few along the way, they're fairly ordinary.
Hey. As long as you're on the plus side, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I did get a nice note this morning on the show with Terry from Nick, who said that he took all those outside horses that I had and boxed them up, and I think he said it paid out to like $2,000 so that was a pretty nice play. So I'm glad that he did that. I wish I had done the same. So glorious Goodwood tomorrow, Thursday. It looks like good to firm, so it looks like they're actually upgrading the track, right, to even firmer.
And you got to figure they're watering overnight, but I don't know how much. And at this point in the runnings, those outside posts may not be the best place to be.
No.
So we will see.
Well, we'll certainly find out.
Today, one, had to gun for the lead and completely got beat. I mean, they were just, they were capturing, but we also saw some come from the inside and win. So, there's I don't know if you've watched the track or the race, but there's a cutaway. Mm-hmm. You get to about a furlong plus out, and then you get extra room inside. So if you've been hugging that rail, now you got a bigger opening, and there's one shot through and one today. So,
yeah, I think I saw that. As a matter of fact, well, we're going to find out tomorrow how the track's going to run at 8:50 a.m. Eastern. That's the first race. That is the Coral Kinsom handicap. That's the first one we're doing, right, Tom? Just want to make sure.
No, we're doing the Richmond, the Gordon, and the.
I thought we had races 1, 2, and 4.
No, I changed it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got race 1.
I took the maiden race out. But we can talk about it real quick. I mean,
that's the one I did, so we can do.
There's a huge favorite in there. Yeah, I've got 4 picks.
All right. So what are we going to do? 1, 2, 3, and 4 then, huh?
We're going to do 3. Yeah, we're doing the group races.
All right. So hold on. I did not do one of those races. I guess I didn't see that email. So anyway, let's just go through what we got. So race number 1. This one is 1 mile and 2 furlongs. It is on that main track. So let's take a look at what the Goodwill. 1 mile and 2 furlongs. Looks like they're going to start. Here's 1 mile and 3. So 1 mile and 2. Where are you? I'm going to guess right up in here somewhere.
Yeah, right in there.
And then it looks to me like
they're going to go on the inside, so they'll cut in, but they don't show the cutaway on this graphic, which is an important thing to note. And watching some of the races, you got a horse that wants cover and it's got an inside draw. He may have an advantage.
So looking at this spot, Tom, I did race number one.
Mm-hmm.
It looked to me like there was one horse that had a lot of pace, the 10 horse. Bunch of others, like the majority of the rest, all except 4 pressers, and then you have 4 that could, prefer probably be at the back and come forward. So since I didn't, anyway, why don't you tell us what you have in the first race for your 4 picks, and I'll tell us what I have.
Okay, I took number 12, V-Sight, who should be the favorite, as the top choice. Hasn't done really anything wrong. Holly Doyle certainly not a slouch. She's been doing very well. Finally got a classic winner in France, so very good. Number 1, Natural World is my next selection. Number 10, White Feather Fall. It's my next one after that. Always watch, obviously, always watch out for those Johnson horses at here. I think that it's got a very good chance, and I think you get a decent price on that one.
Yeah, it looks like 18-1 right now.
And number 5, Juanies. As a throw that in there, Jim Crowley. There's some interesting action on that horse. You can see it's gone down from 10 to 8. So there's been some movement. Somebody likes it. So,
absolutely.
And I thought it had a good chance in here. They've all, this is an interesting bunch because, you could, number 12, if he runs well, he could be a group winner coming forward. But and some of the other ones too, possibly. They're all 3-year-olds, so who knows?
Never can tell. So I basically started out with the 8 horse in here, Tom, as Sassy. And the reason I went with the 8 horse, there's a comment in there that, maybe not a comment so much as the running. The last race out, for the first couple of races, the first 3 races, the horse was prominent, got close to the front. And then in the last race, it was the last to break. It really struggled to get out of the gate at 1 mile and 5/16, and then still managed to run on and win. So far, 3 races. It's got two wins, a third by a neck, a second by a half a length. Those 3 first races broke sharply. So the fact that the horse showed that it can come off the pace and still win a race, I thought that's a pretty good sign. Number 3 is my second choice, Midgedam, whatever that means. I'm not quite sure. But I do like the Midgedam because the horse is coming off of a break. And the last time it came off a break, ran 1.25 miles and 1 going away. Sans the debut where it kind of struggled, 12th at the start, had some issues, finished 7th. After that, it's been on a 3-race win streak. So whatever the mistakes it made in that opening race, it seems to have corrected it. Number 7 is my third choice, As Good as Sober Gets. Ooh, that was a long one to learn right there. So when you looked at the debut, that horse came out, ran a race, sixth behind the winner of 6 of 13, 4 behind the winner. Came back to run at Ascot and ran a second by 4 1/4 at 40-1. Tom, I don't think we're going to get 40-1 here. And you see the line has moved down from 12-1 to 9-1. But I like the fact that it's going to make its second start off a break. And the last time the horse had a second start off a break, it came back to win. Hopefully a repeat there. And then I do like the 5 horse like you, the Juanes, as my final choice here. That's the horse that hasn't done anything wrong. The only question for me was, did it peak 2 races back? But it's a younger horse, 1 for 1 at the distance, lightly races. They all are. So that's how I went ahead and ranked race number 1. Now, race number 2, you did to race number 2 as well, I hope.
I did.
All right. So which one what am I not getting? Race 3?
Race 3, I think.
All right. So race 3. So we'll worry about race 3 in a minute. All right.
Yeah,
So
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So race 3, I just won't have anything to say. It'd probably be the only race I get right.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Yes, be wise to skip it. Though I got to tell you, in the last race, you're going to want to stick around because I got absolutely crazy in the last race, despite the fact that there's a 3-5 favorite in there. The last race we're going to cover. But all right, so race number 2 on the card. This one is a 6 furlongs on the turf, the Richmond Stakes. This is a group for 2-year-olds. 6 furlongs on that track. Looks a little bit like this. Let me bring it up on the screen real quickly. And we've seen this race a couple of times down that straightaway to the stop sign. Tom, looking at race number 2, I have 2 horses that look like they want to get on a lead. One that's going to sit maybe right behind leaders. 4 that will probably make up that second pack of horses, and then 2 that'll be at the back, probably way off the pace. You seeing any differently?
Not really, no. We should point out that the gate again will be on the stand side. So with 2-year-olds, that rail helps a lot in guiding them. They don't wander as much, and with a straightaway course, that's not a bad thing because you've seen goofy things that 2-year-olds can do.
Yes, indeed. Well, all horses can do. I saw a goofy thing today with Bella Sofia, supposed to be a stakes quality horse. Got everything it could have possibly asked for at the break. Its main competitor stumbled. The Chief Speed went to the front and bled, so it backed off. And I mentioned on the show that I didn't think there was any chance that the race could be won in 110, which I thought would be what Kamari needed to win, is a slow pace like that. And they came 110 in 3. These other horses had run 109s in miles. So I don't know. Maybe Saratoga is really sticky today. I'm unsure.
Well, it is the graveyard of favorites, so keep that in mind.
Yes. I won't say what I have to say, what I feel like saying. Anyway, all right, Thomas. Race number 2. Who do you have in this spot?
I took number 3. Chateau is my top choice. He has draw 7. He's got 4 starts, 2 wins, and a third. Won a listed race at Newbury last out, and it was really a nice effort because prior to that, it had run in a listed race at Royal Ascot and did a nice effort in there. So nice follow-up. He had some problems at the start. He sat behind the leaders. He had no place to go with about 2 furlongs out. Switched right and went on and won. And always when I see that out of a 2-year-old, that'll perk my ears up real quick. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think he got a great chance in here. Number 6, Marshman is my next choice. Has draw 1. He's 1 for 1. He won his first out in a maiden race at Ayr, and he had some adventures, to say the least. He reared at the start. He raced at the back of the field. He moved up, and he went a little backwards, and then he moved forward. If that doesn't show you greenness, I don't know what does. So hopefully he's learned a bunch, and we'll maybe get a few bucks on this one because, again, these 2-year-olds, they're unpredictable as heck. And,
can be for sure.
Yeah, and you never know. The favorite will be number 7, Royal Scotsman will be my final choice with draw 5. 3 starts and a 1 win. After the novice win, they put it up against Group 2 company at Royal Ascot, and that's the Coventry. He ran a nice third. He was only beaten by 3 3/4 lengths. The important thing about that race is that the second horse has gone on and won a group race. The 4th runner, who finished 4th, also has gone on and won a group race, and 2 of them have placed in group races. So that Coventry is looking really strong for a 2-year-old race.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's the favorite. He's the one I got to beat in my mind. I think I've got the right horse.
All right. For me, in race number 2 that I did cover, I'm going to start with number 1 over here. That is Al Qarar. When you look at the class rating for that horse in its debut, won at 6 furlongs on a good surface, which is what we're going to get, good to firm, and just ran away from the pack by 5 3 3/4 lengths. Pretty good numbers right there. And that was despite the fact that the horse was a little bit anxious when they put it in the stalls, dwelt at the start, and then said, you know what, boom, I'm going to take over this race, and did so. So I think you're going to see some, like you said, Tommy, when you have a horse that's young that has some problems and still manages to overcome and then win by 3 3/4, I think that's the markings potentially of a pretty good horse. As you mentioned, Royal Scotsman faced off against some of these. My second choice, probably going to be a heavy favorite. But with these 2-year-olds, I always feel like you got to try to play against them on top. A horse that did run against Royal Scotsman in its debut was the 2-horse Blue Light Bay. Finished second by 5 lengths. It's one that, maybe a little bit green in that first race. Came back next time out. Went from Goodwood, which they're going to run it again. Went over to Royal Windsor, which I imagine is, I don't know if it's a track downgrade or what, but still managed to win by 2 lengths in the second trip out and cut its 6 furlong time on a good track, which we're going to get tomorrow. Whereas the first day up against Royal Scotsman, that track was a soft track, going to get a good track where he won by 2. And then finally, I, as well as you, like Marshman, as my third choice. The 6-horse, just taking a look at the 6-horse's debut, another one that came out at Ire, just ran a really good number in terms of its race, ran away from the pack by 1 3/4. Another one that was off the pace, kind of a goofy start, and managed to find its way to the winner's circle. So if you see any improvement or any less color green from those horses, you might see them go ahead and make the most of that race and improve, right? That's what we're looking for.
Well, with 2-year-olds, yeah, we want to see them going forward, but they tend to sometimes run those really good races and they come out and run a clinker. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what you're going to get. And, then you get these big price 40 to 1s that hit the board and you're going, okay, where did that one come from?
Life is like a box of chocolates, right? 2-year-olds are like a box of chocolates. When the gates open, you don't know what you're going to get.
Nope.
Tonight, well, we know what we're going to get from the professor today. His play of the day, if you're going to play baseball, play of the day tonight is the Mariners. So he absolutely loves the Mariners. So a little bit of an underdog tonight. They're plus 105, but he says he really likes John Gray, the pitcher. There is a link to the professor's pick of the day every single day right down in the description here on YouTube, along with a link to today's YouTube show so you can get all of the statistics professor's Major League Baseball picks. Again, when you're over there, please get in the comment section. Be rowdy. Let them know that you came from horseracingtoday.net. They would love to see that for sure. All right, Tom. So the race I know nothing about is the John Pierce Racing Gordon Stakes. That's the one that somehow I don't know how I messed it up, but all right. Look at it. It's a bonus for everybody else. Instead of doing 3, we're doing 4.
Yeah, we're doing 4. Not a bad thing.
This one's 1 mile and 4 furlongs. So in English, 1.5 miles. Looking at 1.5 miles on that Goodwood, they're going to start all the way over here. Then they're going to come around. They come out here. I don't know why.
No, the other way. There you go.
I got this way this time?
Yeah, that way.
It's confusing. And then down there, what's the determining factor between going that way or that way?
Just the undulations in the course and where you're going to, you got to get positioned at a 1.5 mile race. So the inside definitely has an advantage. So that's the way you kind of draw it up and see if you can figure it out.
So in terms of pace, I didn't do my pace work on this one. What do you see?
There's 1 or 2 they're going to want the lead. Everybody else is going to sit mid-pack, and there's a couple closers here.
All right. So I don't have anything to add. So tell me what you like.
Predictor and see what you get.
You know what? We didn't do the predictor for the first 3 races, Tom. Let's do that. Let's go backwards. I apologize, folks. All right. So the first one, the predictor. Where did the predictor go? All right. So race number 1, the predictor said, I totally forgot about this today. So race number 1, it looks like, bang, we have Warren Point. Did either one of us mention Warren Point?
Nope.
I don't think so. Mayasasi is right there, though. It looks like maybe tied for second. Photo for second going on there. And then is good. Yeah, that one's way off the bat. All right, so maybe what Warren Point is one you want to take a look at. In the next race, the predictor says, race number 2, it says, that guy looks like he's an easy winner. Chateau. Oh, Thomas, looking good for you, my friend. My El Carrar, yeah, he's kind of way back there. Royal Scotsman, he's running 3rd. Crispy Cat, a name that didn't make either one of our lists. All right, so let's see how race 3.
I didn't like his last race, and so I threw him out.
All right. Let's see how the predictor goes for race number 3.
That's your picks right here. These are your picks.
These are my picks, folks. Okay, I'm going to rely on the algorithm. Oh, this guy's an easy winner, baby, down here. Grand Alliance. And it looks like a three-way photo for second and third for your swinger bet. I like the name Hooyah Mall, so I'm going to go with Hooyah Mall as my second choice. And then West Wind Blows, New London. Neither one really strikes my fancy. So
New London will be the big favorite.
Big favorite.
Yeah, it'll be a very short price horse.
Yeah, screw it. I'm going to go off the board with Al Kareem. I like that name better. So I'm going to go Grand Alliance, Hooyah Mall, and Al Kareem. So those are my picks on the fly, Tom, based upon the predictor. What are yours based upon your handicapping?
I'm going to take number 6. Jack Darcy is my top choice. This is a horse that's 2 for 2. He won a start last year by a head, and then he came back and won the start this year by 4.5 lengths. And to say he's easy. Now, obviously, he's going up in class because this is, novice races he was running in, but he beat a couple decent horses, and this is one of those slowly developing 3-year-olds that you are going to be maybe, in the autumn, they're going to be very good. And that's the ones I always like to look at as the year progresses and the maturity. And we see these horses coming out that are needed time. And this is one that they raced it as a 2-year-old once, and then they, put it away. They obviously saw something and decided that we're going to wait. Now they're putting it into kind of the deep end, so to speak. But I think it's got a nice chance in here, and I think may surprise. I definitely think we're going to get a price on this one.
12-1, started out at 14-1, so catching a little bit of money.
A little bit. And there's a tip in there, too, which I thought was interesting.
Yes, one tip.
Number 8, New London, who will be the favorite, is draw 6. He has 4 starts, 3 wins, and a second. Won last out at Newmarket in a handicap by 3 lengths. He was very, very good, and he got a really high mark for that run. Now, the thing with him is to point out is that he is a gelding. And when you get a high handicap mark and they'll race him in those big dollar handicap races versus running them in group races. So it's an interesting placement by Charlie Appleby to put him in this race. Because if he loses, then that handicap number drops. And you got to play, you got to play the numbers, so to speak. He lost a group 2 at Chester in a small field. The winner went on and won again at Ascot. And his one start as a 2-year-old, but everything pointed to when he was a 2-year-old, he won at distance. I do find it interesting he was gelded, so they must have had some big problems with him.
They want him to run angry, Tom. That's my theory.
Well, they also gelded Yubir, and he won a few races. So,
well, they run angry after that. I mean, I would be really mad. I'd be running angry too. I mean, I won a race, and look what they did to me. I don't want to. If I don't win, what are they going to cut off my leg next? I don't know. So,
maybe I don't know. Number 4, Grand Alliance was draw 3, 7 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and third. I ran second at Royal Ascot to changing of the guard in a Group 2 race. Really, his worst race this horse ran was in Epsom Derby. And he was a mess in the paddock. He was sweating. He was just not there. And to me, I tossed that race out. But I did find out what I did think is interesting. The first 3 races this horse ran were all in the all-weather. So they were before they moved him to turf. And so I think the distance makes sense. I think a Group 3 race for this horse makes sense. And I see that horse improving.
All right, then. Well, I don't have any picks in this race at all. So
you do. You
I have my simulation picks. But
well,
nothing really that I put a whole lot of effort into. So the last
you clicked on it.
Hey, sometimes I feel like where the quick pick might be the best option some days.
Oh yeah.
Race number 4, which is one I went just absolutely berserk on this way. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably would have been better off just using the predictor than what I am going to put out there. But anyway, this is the Qatar Nassau Stakes. It is a Group 1 mile and 2 furlongs on this twisty, turny track. So it looks to me like it's going to start right about here, Tom. Is that right? 1 mile, 2 furlongs? And then wind its way around this way. And do they go this way or this way this time?
That way.
This
Second
way?
second way.
This way. Okay, so going to come into that turn, head down here to the circle. And this race, again, looks to me like you got one horse that wants to get on the lead, one horse that'll trail the leader like tightly. And then you got about a handful that are probably going to make up the bulk of the horses in the middle. And then two that'll probably end up way in the back and try to make up a lot of ground late. How do you see the pace?
Well, making up a lot of ground late at Goodwood is not necessarily good. Works very well, especially if you have an outside draw. You really need to be up a little more forwardly placed, and that's what I looked at the horses, and I did take the favorite because she was extremely impressive at Shenty. Number 7, Nassau, was draw 9. 5 starts, 3 wins, and 2/3. Won a classic last time out by a neck. Group 1, cannot complain about that. Ran a good third to Tuesday in the Epsom Oaks. Also a Group 1. She's in form, and I really don't see her not being the favorite. I don't, even money right now, I think it's going to be lower than that, personally.
Yeah, it's kind of vacillated a bit. It started off a little bit below money, and then worked its way back to 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and now it's actually even money. So the numbers are actually going up, not down, and taking in 10 out of 12 tips. So it looks like, the backers here, the punters, whatever they call the people who make picks over there, and it looks like they're not really going very far away from the favorite at all here.
Well, it's the bookies that are making the nine. Who are you using this time? I didn't see on the top.
This is just the best odds, it says.
Oh, best odds. Okay. Yeah. Try William Hill. Let's see if there's any difference.
Let's see. William Hill says that Nassau is 10 to 11. So about the same.
Yeah, about the same. Mm-hmm. I took number 2, Dream Loper, is my next choice. Was draw 6, 15 starts, 5 wins, 1 second, and 3/3. She tried and failed in a Group 1 at the Curragh. She faced older horses in that race, and Le Petit Coco won that race pretty easily. And the jockey said after the race her poor performance was because she didn't like the ground. It was a little soft to yielding type of ground. So this tends to be a horse that thinks going to like that firmer Goodwood track. And based on that, of course, before that, she won a Group 1 in Prairie Longchamp. And basically, it was kind of a push-button race for this one. When they asked her to go, she did. And that's always impressive to see. But when you can't follow it up, then you get a little nervous. You have to think about it. First start of the year, it ran in a Group 2 at Newmarket and ran nicely in that race. I just tossed out the last race. I mean, I think it was over its head. Mm-hmm. I think against 3-year-olds is a much better spot for this horse, and I think she's going to be really good in this race. And I think with that, I'm going to take a bomb.
All right,
my final one, number 8, One for Bobby. I'm going to draw 8. The way I put it was with this horse has 4 starts, 2 wins, a third, and 1 forgettable race. And that's the best way to describe it. Ran in a Group 2 at the Curragh, ran third. It was, she was good enough to get up for third is the best way to describe it. So she beat everybody else. And she, went off at a big price. So, and we get a jockey switch here, so it'll be interesting to see what that goes with. I tossed the Nass race out. That was the one, the favorite. She was the favorite. She ran in the rear. She moved up and then flattened out. And then, to me, they moved too early on the horse, based on their watching the replay. I get new jockey, as we said. I think he's going to have her more forwardly placed, and hit the board is all I'm looking for, especially at that price.
Are you ready for a dose of crazy, Tom?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So call it recency bias. I don't know, but I've been burned by these short prices. So Nassau going to go off at a low price. He ain't going to get paid for that horse. So I'm looking through there. I said, all right, Rich, who's going to win this race? Who's the price that's going to come through? And you know where I settled on, Tom? The 6 horse is my top choice, Fontanen, or whatever you pronounce that name. This horse, after the debut, which wasn't a bad debut, Came back and has done absolutely nothing wrong. It's moved a little bit longer from 7.5 furlongs to a mile to a mile to a mile. It's been out on a good track twice at a mile. And in those two races, it got a win. Last time out by a head, second by a neck. I feel like maybe the extra distance is actually a positive in here. And the class rating last time was 120, and that's the same class rating that the heavy favorite, Nassau, won at the previous race. So maybe, just maybe, we're going to get a 25-1 shot in here to go home and collect the check, man.
Yeah, well, they're vastly different courses that the two horses ran on. So you have to kind of put that in the back of your mind when you look at that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but still, I just got hurt 2 days in a row by these short price horses, and just figure, you know what? I'll backstop it though with Nassau as my second choice, as you mentioned, Tom. Horse really one of those proverbial hasn't done nothing wrong. Last race out, Group 1 win, you can't complain. Proven it can win at this level, proven it can win at the distance. So really nothing not to like there, other than trying to just get some value outside of that. My next choice is number 3. Lilac Road is the third choice on the card for me. Horse is going to make its first start off the break, has a mixed bag of performance when it gets a little bit of rest, but mostly good, mostly close. So I think you'll see a pretty good effort from this horse off of the bench. It's been out across the track once with a third. Why not put it in third then? And been at the distance 3 times with a win and a couple of seconds. So I don't have to sweat whether the horse can make it 1.25 miles. I know it can do so and hit the board, being in the exacta 3 out of 3. And then I got crazy again, Tom, at the back end with the other long shot in here, not the one you took. Maybe I should just take all your long shot, my 2 long shots, and put them together in my ticket. But I'm going to go with Aristia as my 4th and final choice. Hey, look, man, it started at 50-1. It's down to 33-1. All the smart money is flying in there for sure. But it finished second behind Lilac Road, 2 races back by only a half of a length. Last time out, you got to kind of forget that race, I guess. You got to scratch that one off. But I expect that you'll see the horse improve in the third start off, a layoff, been to the distance 4 times, caught a win, caught a third. So what the heck? Tomorrow's I'm looking for one of those, one of these races here. Oh, there we go again with our favorite friends. This guy won't leave us alone today. This porno dude.
Oh, the bots are attacking.
Yes, indeed. But you got to think one of these days over here at Glorious Goodwood, you're going to catch a huge prices at top. I'm hoping it is race number 4 tomorrow, Tom, because, well, we'd cash. We would be kings, so much cash that we would have, Tom.
Oh, yeah. We'd go wild and crazy, wouldn't we?
Oh, yes. Hair would be on fire when we start the show tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but our bombs are, I think we're going to be, is going to be on when we do the Saturday races. Just to give you an idea, the consolation race, the Stewards Cup, consolation is cut right now. They have 45 entries. For the Stewards Cup, which is the big race of the day, it has 73 entries. And the other race that we're going to do is the Singleton, and that has 36 runners entered right now. So we'll find out tomorrow morning who's actually going to be running, and I'm assuming we're going to have a full field in that race. And
all of them.
Cup, they can have 28 horses running.
Wow.
We probably going to have 28 horses running.
That'd be fun.
To give you an idea, right now the favorite is 8-1.
That'll be a lot of fun painting that pace picture, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Well, but we still got Friday to do, so we can't jump way ahead.
Yes, we'll be back tomorrow at the Horse Racing Radar TV. So while you're here today, please hit the subscribe button. Also press the bell so that when we go live, you are notified. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram at Horse Race, the number 2, and then day. We got some exclusive content as well on our Facebook page and on our Twitter page. Tyler Connor, jockey over at Penn National, is kind enough to share his race thoughts with us. Tonight at Penn National, race 1, Organized Chaos. He's got a mount on Lady Munnings. He tells us exactly what he thinks about those horses. And then a little later on tonight, Sean and I will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern with 6,000 race winner, probably more than that by now, Deshaun Parker, I think that's going to be a fantastic show. I've seen him in other interviews. Seems to be a very charismatic guy. So I'm expecting a lot of fun tonight at 8 o'clock. If you have a question for Deshaun about any of his 6,000 wins, make sure you tune in and then hit us up in the comment section, just like the porno bot. Indeed. So along with Penn National, if you're going to play along with Tyler tonight over in the what I call Taco Bell racing, because it's open late all night like Taco Bell, the Zenobia will be running tonight. It is the free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Make sure you head over to that. There's a link down there in the description, both on Facebook and on Twitter. Not on Twitter, and maybe on Twitter too, but Facebook and YouTube. Please click on that link or one that you find on horseracingtoday.net so that they know where you are coming from. All right, Tom, I think I wrapped everything up. Did I miss anything?
No, that sounds pretty good to me.
Tomorrow, Terry and I will
will remind us.
Tomorrow, Terry and I will be back at noon to take a shot at Del Mar. Man, a lot of long shots today came home at Saratoga. Terry had a couple of them in his picks. I mentioned one, too, in my picks. It was a tough call for me. It won 50-50. I mentioned lately I've been on the tail side of every 50-50 call, looking to move to the head side tomorrow. Del Mar, 12 o'clock.
You need Friday. To change coasts.
What I got to do is pretend it's the third, fourth race at Glorious Goodwood and just lose my mind and go with the bombs over to 3 to 5. Friday, I'm not quite sure what time Tom and I are going to come back. Of course, that'll all be noted on social media, so just make sure you pay attention to that. Again, Sean and I will be back in about an hour and a half. Till then, Thomas, we hope that no matter what you're doing tonight, if it's at Hussinova Down, Penn National, or just getting your pen and paper out, getting prepared for tomorrow's Glorious Goodwood, we hope that no matter what you're doing, Tom, it ends up in
Winner's Circle.
Absolutely, indeed. Have a fantastic Hump Day night.